The next story. You know, a ghost employee or worker is who he really is. That is a fictitious or non-existent employee on payroll. Records for the Zamfara State Government. For the Zamfara State Government, it is bedlam. A verification exercise conducted by it has uncovered a whopping 2,363 workers in its employ. In addition to this crudity is the revelation that 220 minors who had been receiving monthly pay came to light. And so for Governor Dauda Lawal, this is a litmus test. How he reacts is important, Mayor.
It is shameful that in 2025 we are still being bothered by ghost workers. It shows that some state governments are not progressive in nature. The Mr. President, when he was governor of Lagos State, when he was governor in his first term in 1999, introduced the Oracle software in Lagos State. And it was that Oracle software that was able to identify the ghost workers that were there at that time. So ghosts were seen. Because there were people who were collecting salaries, but they do not exist. It is people in these pay and records that used to do the scam and all that. And I expected that from that time till now, every state should have been able to, because we are in a computer age, for God's sake. It is easy to be able to identify people who are in your workforce. So for them to now discover more than 2,000 ghost workers, it's good for the state because it will save them a lot of money. But it's also an indictment that the states have not been doing what is expected of them. Because how can you be talking of ghost workers to the tune of 2,000? You can talk of some few workers, maybe they are just workers, and then they've left, they didn't resign properly, and they are still in the system, and you can be able to pick 1 or 2 or 10 people. But to pick over 2,000 people as ghost workers.
Are you able to reconcile this issue of minor workers? Minors.
No, that one is fraud. So people that are responsible, should be made to account for what they have done, because a minor is a minor. You will know that this person has no business being in this workforce. So paying somebody like that regularly shows that it is a scam between some people, and the law should take its course. The governor should not only discover that they've been discovered, they should be made to pay for the fraud they've committed, because that one is plain fraud.
BQ, and so bad behavior must be punished.
Yes, and you know, Zamfara is one of the states, the last set of states that are still trying to pay the minimum wage. Long after others had decided, you know, Zamfara was struggling to decide. And don't forget, even the old minimum wage of 30,000 was not being implemented in Zamfara before this governor came. And as soon as he got there, he began implementing the 30,000 minimum wage. I don't think it's even up to a year that he started implementing it. You know, now we told the workers that for him to pay 70,000 minimum wage, they should be ready for a kind of verification exercise. You know, which will show dead wood to the door. So he wants to trim the workforce so that he can pay this 70,000 minimum wage. So a committee was set up, and that committee highlighted that 27,109 permanent workers were cleared, while workers with questionable employment include 2,363 ghost workers. So out of this, 1,082 civil servants are due for retirement, but they are there still collecting salary. 395 contract staff, 261 of them are on the nominal roll, and 213 are on study leave. 220 minors are in the employment, and 67 workers on secondment.
Yeah.
So the ghost workers, 2,363 of them were being paid a total of 193,642,000 every month. So 1,082 workers who were already due for retirement continued to collect salary and were collecting 80 million, cumulatively 80,542,298 monthly. So you can see if they can get some of these guys out of the way, they will be able to find money to pay the productive people who are still in the service. This idea of minors being on salary is not this state alone. I've read about it happening in so many states in northern Nigeria, especially local government workers.
Yeah.
In the local government, people don't go to work. Once it's payday, they show up, collect salary.
Have you heard also that these so-called ghost workers are more at the local government level?
And that's the point that I'm making.
Yeah.
That's where they are being tolerated. A lot of the nonsense is going on at local government level. Somebody will bring in his own children. Maybe he has 5 kids. 3 of those kids will be on the payroll. And every month, they collect salary. So the people in the establishments and other key ministries, they are behind this. They are the ones who conjure up these fake names and ensure that they are able to defraud the state every month. As long as the state gets paid, these guys are able to line their pockets from the long list of ghost workers that they have put on the payroll. I remember during a budget verification exercise.
Yeah.
During what is it called? Yes, in budget defense in Abuja, they discovered a ghost unity school, complete with teachers, vice principal academic, vice principal admin. Ghost unity school, they discovered. So there are so many ways by which the resources of our country are leaking.
Yes, yes.
And civil servants, honestly, I always say that they are the ones who teach politicians how to steal.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm convinced
Absolutely.
that they are not prepared to change unless drastic measures are taken. I do not blame Governor Lawal for what has happened. This is something that has been there for so long.
Yeah.
But at least as a banker, an executive director at First Bank, he had the experience to be able to say, look, if we conduct this verification exercise, we'll be able to save some funds.
That's it.
And
That's
this is an eye-opener. Look at the number of ghost workers that we have. And look at those who ought to have retired.
They imagine how much they will have collected over the years.
Yes, ghost workers
Billions.
alone. Ghost workers alone are getting 80,542,000 a month.
Every
That's
month.
what goes to those to those due for retirement who have refused to go. I think ghost workers, let me see how much.
I think it's 100, 100.
Okay, ghost workers,
100 and something million.
193 million, 642
Every
every
month.
month.
And multiply that
Yes, by
12
yes,
months.
it's billions.
Yes,
Kai.
it's almost 200 million a month
Yes,
on
billions.
ghost workers.
And some civil servants will just sit down and be sharing that.
They'll
every
just
month.
share the money amongst themselves. And
So-
those who refuse to, who are due for retirement, who refuse to retire, they are blocking the chances of other
That's it.
people.
Yeah.
They won't be able to grow within the service.
And punishment. Don't you think somebody should be...
That is my argument. That's
Yes.
my argument. Because what they have done is fraud.
Oh, yes.
If you
Pure
call
fraud.
somebody ghost worker and is being paid, it's just another name for fraud. Because some people will put that name in the system. They know the name doesn't exist. Somebody must collect that money at the end of the
I've
month.
not seen a ghost in a long time.
I've not even seen.
And
Even,
ghost
even in my
doesn't
dream,
work.
I've not seen a
It
ghost.
doesn't work.
Ghost
No, it
doesn't
doesn't
work.
work. So
Otherwise,
it's-
who employs that
That's what I'm
ghost?
saying. No, it's some people. Why their ghosts is that they don't exist.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why they call them ghost
You don't
workers.
see them.
But some people
Right.
put their names and collect that money. That is what is important.
So they'll be sharing
they
this
collect that money
193
every
million.
month. So those who are responsible should be made to account for that.
Yes.
And that is one of the reasons why we have problems. We allow civil servants to run the country, and they get away with it.
Yeah.
Because each government comes, they are there. You know, before there was this rumor that they used to own almost all the houses in Abuja.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And you know,
Oh, yeah.
and you see
Even estates.
because they get away with it. Another government will come, when they discover them, they will chill a little bit, allow things to cool down a little, and then they start all over again.
That's it.
So they must be made to pay for what they've done. Because there's no other
No, I
name for it,
remember
just
a
fraud.
level 9 officer
Yeah.
in Abuja who had an estate. There was
You
a story.
don't say.
Yes, there was a story that I did some years back when I was in the news magazine, a cover story. A level 9 officer. A woman, no, a woman.
Ew.
A woman.
You people say what a man can do.
They can do much better than us. Those people they are very effective at anything they do. So a level 9 officer who owned an estate. An estate too. I'm not saying a couple of houses, an estate.
Of all places.
Have been milking the
Abuja.
system for years. Milking the system for years. A system that can permit an individual to own more than 700 duplexes. It's a very shitty system. I don't understand how people get away with this kind of
things
thing.
like that.
It's not, we're not talking about two houses.
The system is faulty.
Duplexes, 700 and something.
So when Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India said corruption is worse than diabetes, this is what he was talking about.
Yes,
Anything
what
that
it means
beats
is that
diabetes.
no, yes, because corruption kills. It
does.
denies people things. The government will not have the money to be able to do the basic things.
Yes.
That is why you will see an iconic hospital like UCH not having electricity.
Oh, yeah.
Because there are not enough funds to go around. The government keeps looking for money, but there are some people
some people
sitting
are
down.
cornering the money.
Yes, cornering money and sharing it. So it is important for them to, because you see, for every action there must be consequences.
Yeah.
Part of our problem is that we don't allow people to get consequences. You even see people who have been caught stealing, when they want to give them sentences so light, they get away with it, or they do plea bargain, or all those kind of nonsense.
But you know,
In 7 months, these guys
we can
make
say
about $1 billion.
That's what I'm saying.
We can
From ghost
say
workers
that they
alone
share.
in such a poor state like Zamfara.
yeah, we can say it here and now that for Governor of Zamfara State, he has set the ball rolling, and so we expect him
It should
to kick and follow.
finish the job
No,
that he
they
has
should bring
started.
in the EFCC.
Yes.
They should bring in the EFCC. Let the EFCC identify those
Those
who
who are
have been
responsible.
profiting from this ghost worker syndrome for years.
Yeah.
Put them behind bars.
Yeah.
That's the only way. If we do not make examples of people, others will never agree that it is
Otherwise, if you go back to what Transparency International said the other day, we are 36th on the corruption
Forget those ones.
index.
Forget those ones.
Make I forget.
No, we
Because
made
there's
a
politics.
little progress.
Because
No,
there's
no,
politics in it.
Yeah, but we
there's
have made
politics in it.
We have made progress.
We made a little progress.
Presidency
I do
agrees
not-
with them, but I'm saying things like this story we are reporting, now part of it.
Part of
No,
it,
there
yes.
are some
Of course, of course.
areas where we've shown some transparency, where we've made life difficult for some corrupt people.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
there are some government agencies now where the human influence has been
Because of the
reduced to the
TSA.
barest minimum. Yes. You know, even after TSA was created, ICPC discovered that some civil servants with the connivance of banks were still opening secret accounts.
Against what the system
Yes.
says.
Ministries, departments, and agencies. Civil servants still opening secret accounts known to them and their banker friends. Because all of these things, they can't get away with these things without the connivance of bankers.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So despite TSA,
Because you have to pay the
it's
money
being
to an account.
bypassed. They are still bypassing TSA. They are saying now that, okay, payment of cash it should be de-emphasized, because if you do it electronically, they can follow the trail.
Yeah.
But our people are bypassing. They use dollars that they have stolen, you know, get tons of naira,
Okay.
and then convert to dollars and use those dollars to buy houses and all that. They will not transfer through the banks because they know you will come for them.
Okay, let the debate continue, but we wish Governor Zamfara Godspeed as he makes to clean the urgent stable. Now to our next